How you doing this week? How are we recovering from the NES Marathon? Are we okay?
As far as exhaustion goes, I was pretty much good by Monday, but I made a realization that the only marathon that I got out of illness free was last year. The first 2 years we did the marathon, I got pneumonia.
You had pneumonia each time. You have just a gimpy immune system in general.
Yeah,
You know
I had 3 months of pneumonia the first time, 2 months of pneumonia the second time. But I've spent most of the week sleeping.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I need to do that sometimes.
I was actually fine for most of Monday. I stayed up to like 10:30, 11 at least, and I was like, okay. I know you're gonna say something about the hour nap, but no, I was good. Then I hit the wall Monday night. Somehow, like it went. I worked out Monday, which I always do, and it's like I can do it. It's just that my body's just at like 70% of like strength, and then I hit Monday night, and then bam, then I slept 14 hours, and I never sleep over like 9 hours ever, and so I slept from like 8:30, passed out after going to Indian buffet, come home, passed out from 8:30 until like 10, 11 the next day. Like that was just it was like ridiculous amount of sleep that I never get. Or it was like 7:30 to like 10 the next day. Yeah, it was definitely like 13 hours at least. It was ridiculous.
Jeez.
Yeah, but I needed it, and now I'm like I was fine after that. I'm like still, yeah, I'm learning to deal with it better every year. I think we eat and hydrate better after the first couple of years. We sort of learn how to do that.
Certainly. I mean, we're already rolling into our first topic, which is NES Marathon recap.
Oh, are we?
I feel like we are.
Way to announce that.
Well,
So.
I mean, we're talking about the marathon. We're going to roll right into it. Hydration is so super freaking key for something like that. When you are, especially when you're sitting in one place, you don't feel thirsty. It's one of those things where doctors will give you the advice, drink when you don't feel thirsty. You have to maintain this level of fluid anyway. Yeah. We're not running around. We're not out in the hot heat. But, I mean...
We're constantly talking. We're constantly moving. We're constantly thinking. We're constantly playing games. That's all draining your energy one way or the other.
And, keeping your fluid levels adequate is going to help you stay awake. If you're trying to stay awake for 24 hours at a time, if you're not drinking enough, you do get drowsy. You start to tire out. Your muscles start to hurt, and that's when you run into problems with something like that when you're sitting still for so long.
Yeah, or we don't have shifts. I mean, like Desert Bus for Hope is this weekend. They do like 3-4 days, but they have shifts of people that come in and help. It's multiple people. For us, it's just us. Not saying we're better, but I mean, it's a different sort of beast in terms of what we're doing.
It's a different vibe. You get a different experience from it.
Yeah, you can see us go a little batty, a little, what would have you. But that's part of this. I think that's why people like it. And no, we switched to Twitch for the first time, and I guess we were happy with that change from testing. It seemed more stable.
It's surprising too, because we fought that for so long.
Fought that for the last 2 years because usually Ustream would push us to the front page of their when they used to promote actual events. They pushed to the front page. They gave us more resources. They helped push it. It was like, wow, this helped get us views. So the last year, it was they were sort of going away from that business angle. They don't push. If you go to the front page of Ustream now, you don't see anything anymore. They don't show events. They've changed it to sort of like a business, sort of just business solution Ustream.
Yeah, like a teleconferencing sort of.
Thing. It's like a teleconferencing sort of solution instead of what it used to be. It used to be just an alternative to Justin TV. It used to be an alternative to live stream.
Right.
And now you only have is live streaming around anymore, and you have Twitch, and that's basically what you have left for.
But yeah, the second and third year, they did us great favors. They put us on the front page. They gave us
even the first year too.
Yeah, they gave us expanded bandwidth. They really, because it was a charity marathon and it was something that at the time was still kind of new. They definitely did things differently for us, which was nice. But that's just not available now. And Twitch turned out to be a really great secondary option.
Yeah, and I know more people are on Twitch in general, so it's easier for them to find, I guess, randomly.
Yeah.
And plus there was the whole raid thing, which wouldn't have happened on Ustream. We could talk about that a little bit.
Let's address that real quick. So
it was during, I think it was like commercial break, about probably like 8 hours in. It was like probably, 7 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night?
Sure.
On Saturday, something like that.
Yeah, and someone else. So basically we come back, and you have to understand we're new to Twitch. And this raid thing is apparently like a Twitch thing. We come back, and in previous years, we have had problems with chat being...
With trolls. People trying to take it over.
People trying to take it over and flooded. So we come back from the marathon, or from our break, and we just see raid, hashtag raid being...
hundreds
just being flooded in the chat room. And Pat and I don't think this is unreasonable, we panic. And, I mean, we immediately...
It wasn't so much a panic. It was like, what the hell is this?
So we immediately start banning some people. And we come to find out that this is a Twitch thing, and it basically, when one live stream ends, people pick another live stream to go raid, and basically they get all those viewers. So it's meant to be a friendly thing. It's meant to help out a stream, but you have to understand that when someone is new to a service like that and they don't understand what this is, that looks extremely hostile. I mean, I hate to say that, and don't tell me that I need to read up on Twitch rules, practices, and things like that.
I think it's hostile either way. I don't care if it's supposed to be friendly. The fact of the matter is they're taking over your chat and disrupting it, and it wasn't like every person posting it at one time. I don't think it was like it went on for a couple minutes at least. It was not stopping.
It might have been. I just feel like something like that is like, it's cool, like that you want to pass your viewers on to someone else, but you don't have to announce your arrival in the chat room.
No, to me that comes more of a look how cool I am versus we're just gonna watch this.
Yeah, just show up.
Do I sound ungrateful? I don't give a shit if I sound ungrateful. It's our event.
I don't want to sound ungrateful because eyes mean more money raised, but at the same point in time, I feel like the people who got pissed really just weren't seeing things from the other end of the spectrum. And yeah, it came across as strange and weird. And like I said, my initial reaction to it after previous marathons with something similar happening was that, okay, we're dealing with our yearly hostile attack on the chat room. We have to fix this.
Yeah, and so it's not like we even said anything really rude. I'm just like, well, it's people just being assholes again, because like every year we deal with it. Assholes. Yeah, every year.
Yeah, we're not we're not specifically trying to single you out for trying to bring us viewership, but yeah, this is something that we're used to, and we just figured we were dealing with the status quo that we've dealt with every year, which is a couple moments where we need to take control of the chat room and fix a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, for overall though, the chat went well. We averaged about. That raid got us whatever an extra 800,000 people at that point. For a while.
800. Yeah, I mean, we were pushing 3,000 viewers for a while.
But we were averaging 1,800 to 2,000 viewers for most of the event, which was a lot more than the year before.
Double than what we usually do.
More than double.
Well, more than double of last year, and double of what I think even our highest ever was.
Highest ever, I think we used to top out around 1,800 when we show like the AVGN video in past or something like that. But we were definitely going above and beyond. So thanks to those people that stayed with us the whole time. Obviously, people know the marathon more from last year. That much more than double. I don't know about that. I know my YouTube channel has more than doubled the past year. So maybe that has something to do with it a little bit. But we got all the NES Marathon moments out that week. I think our quote-unquote celebrity guests also helped push it a lot that week. And guys like Andre Meadows and James Rolfe and Brent's always good for pushing it. Pro Jared. So we thank them for getting the word out. So yeah, we raised more than we ever did before. We raised $20,000, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's insane. And I mean, not to sell ourselves short, but the podcast has grown, and I think just the podcast alone has, brought attention to the marathon because we talked about it on multiple episodes. So I think even just doing this helped the marathon as well. Yeah.
So lots of cool moments we had again, of course. So I don't know when we're gonna put up the marathon for viewing. The cool thing about Ustream was it was cool to having a feature that you can put them up in pieces and people could watch it.
Yeah, they could pay for like the whole thing, and
50 cents apart, whatever it was, or $1 apart. Because I don't want the whole thing on Ustream for lots of reasons. I don't want to have my whatever we say stuff off the cuff or whatever else. It's not something that I want 27 hours of me eating up on YouTube willy-nilly, people to pick apart or download or re-upload or manipulate. It's just not
on YouTube.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Ustream.
Yeah, that's what I mean. On YouTube, I don't want them to just, you know what I mean? I want some control over this is something we did. So that's why I have it released usually on my website. So if you really want it, you go to the website, you can watch it. I rotate, in the past hour blocks rotated free, and if you want to pay for the whole thing, you pay for the whole thing and watch it at your leisure.
Because boy, do I say some stuff.
You say some stuff.
I do say some stuff.
We did talk about what it's like with forest porn when you're 13, 14 years old.
That was a really good segment.
And I marked all the good marathon moments as they happened this year. There was about 10 or 12 of them.
I had a lot of fun when you walked in with the belt. And that was the funny thing. You feel with it, right, until something happens. And you walked in with the belt, and I was like, wow, what a surprise this is. Despite the fact that you had talked to me all week about how you couldn't find belts at the toy store and you ordered a belt online.
You still forgot about it?
And it was supposed to come in. And then I tripped over that fucking package that morning when running to go get something. Yeah, and I should have. And I was like, oh, that's the belt. And then come the next morning, I'm like, where did Pat get this belt from? What the fuck is this shit?
What was funny about that was I totally forgot I ordered it, and the reason I had to order it was because I remember I totally I was trying to keep it a surprise, but I didn't remember that I told you about I wanted to get the belt.
Don't worry, my brain kept it a surprise.
Obviously, mine did too for myself. But Target did not have the world heavyweight, the heavyweight Ric Flair, old WCW belt, which I guess they stopped making because online it's like $50 off of Target. You can't get it anymore. That's the belt I really wanted.
Right.
But the second belt I want to get the IC belt, which looks good.
Yeah.
The tag team belt looks like crap. The WWE belt looks like crap, which they got rid of because now it's the world heavyweight title. And the US title looks like crap. Yeah. So that was the only acceptable one, so I had to order it off Amazon, and so it came Saturday afternoon, and at first I didn't know what the hell it was when it came. I was like, what the hell? It didn't even now this is what it is. So I was trying to get it going while you were away. I was like trying to put the little Velcro thing on, and it fit around my waist barely. That's a kid's belt, but it fits.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't have been a surprise to me, but it was a surprise to me, and then later on I was like, all right. No, Pat definitely told me about that a week ago.
So basically, then what that means is next year I'm gonna have an ice hockey medal. I'm gonna have a rock and ball belt. So you have your one belt. I'll have my other 8 Dusty Diamond belt. I'm gonna come in with all the straps.
The IC belt's gonna be the only one that matters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You say that, but you wanted to win Tecmo World Wrestling.
No, that one really means nothing to me. Pro wrestling is the only one that means
ice hockey. Tecmo Bowl every year means something to you at the start. Until you start.
No, it meant something to me this year. That's something I'm always going to be an underdog at. But Tecmo Bowl means something to me, and Rock and Ball means something to me. Tecmo World Wrestling doesn't. I like the game, but it's not pro wrestling. That's where the rivalry is.
That's where
the rivalry is.
But the thing about the what was I going to say about Dusty Diamond. Yeah, but it's not really a wrestling belt. But whatever, I'll think of something for that. But no, the thing about Tecmo Super Bowl was that. It was much more even because Eli Manning, they made terrible in the game. I couldn't complete a pass in the game.
Yeah.
I couldn't complete... The year before, I did like 5 long passes to Victor Cruz. This year, I don't think Victor Cruz had any passes this year.
Well...
It was so bad. I was like, wow, I know Eli got a lot of interceptions last year, but most of them weren't his fault, and they just nerfed him like anything. I was like, oh, Jesus.
And I feel like the Bills were better, like, stats-wise, they had upped them a little bit this year. We always pick the same teams because of obvious reasons, but when I used to be quite good at Tecmo Super Bowl. We used to play just the standard cart, and we'd have friends over, and there were house rules. But I just used to play as the Bills, and the Bills in the standard cart are a really good team. So it's I always think about that sort of thing, and that's why. That's probably why I was fairly decent at the game, was because I was actually using a genuinely good team.
Sure. So we had fun doing it. I think this year went fairly smooth.
It did.
Except for we had to upgrade the software. Every year it's something. Last year actually was the smoothest one, I think, technology wise. Last year,
yeah. This year we had to pay to upgrade our Wirecast because and I'm sure someone in the comments now will say, "Oh, you could have done this," but we were stressed and we just decided to drop the money on it. We couldn't get it to generate the code that we needed to stream to Twitch because it had finally gone over completely from Justin TV to Twitch, and we couldn't figure out how to get a code generated on our old version.
So we actually, legally own Wirecast now, which is it's nice to legally own software. Yeah. So it's nice to do that, and because we use it for the podcast, we use it for that. And it worked out. It worked out well. The interface is fantastic.
Yeah, the new interface. I mean, I didn't touch it this year because I need to get accustomed to some of the changes, but it looked a lot simpler.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler, and we actually recorded the stream to the hard drive, so when the clips go up, they'll look a lot better than us in the past, relying on what Ustream received and then us download, which usually was actually pretty good, but now it'll look better. It'll be full 30 frames, full HD. That will be for all posterity.